Hello, and welcome to Moab Cooking. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Today, for Father's Day, we're going to try something a little different. This is a dish from Tunisia called harissa chicken. Now, it's not the exact recipe because I can't find everything, so I'm going to call it Harissa Explains It All chicken. It's really pretty easy. The hardest thing to find in this entire thing is a harissa paste, which I couldn't find. So I found Harissa Spice, and we're going to use that with a little oil, and then coriander leaves, which it turns out in the US it's called cilantro. That's easy. So it's some yogurt and some harissa that you put on the chicken thighs. You do it up, cook it, and then you put it over top of couscous with fresh mint, cucumber, and cilantro. I haven't had this before, but it should be awesome. So here we go. We're going to try it out. I'll show you how to do it, and hopefully it works out. All right, so first thing I'm going to go over is the ingredients, and then we're going to start putting it all together. So I have a harissa paste, and here's harissa. It's a spice. I was able to find this one in Walgreens. No, not Walgreens. Wegmans. I couldn't find the paste anywhere, so we're just going to put that in. I put in a little olive oil to kind of make it into a bit of a slurry paste. There's 4 teaspoons of that. We have 6 tablespoons of plain yogurt, right? This is Iceland yogurt. You can use Greek yogurt. You just want plain yogurt. That's really going to give it the creaminess that you need without all the everything with it. I have over here, I got some fresh cilantro that I just chopped roughly, real rough. We're going to throw that on the couscous, real nice. And then over here, I got fresh mint. Same thing, just chopped it roughly. If you have some in your garden or whatever, that's good. And then it calls for cucumbers. So the only thing I could really find in the speed at which I was looking was some seedless cucumbers. Now, the cucumbers are very, they're pretty thick. They have a lot of water to them. So a little trick here I'll show you is we're going to take a spoon and we're just going to kind of gut all this, just the middle, right? And then we're going to slice it real thin, but getting rid of all where the seeds are, or if you have seeds, getting rid of that with everything is really going to knock down the moisture. Because what we don't want to happen is we don't want all that water in there. You can see it just dripping off. We don't want all that water in there making everything soggy. So we're just going to kind of take out that middle part, right? Right like that. Nothing crazy. Take that out, and I mean, look, you can see how juicy this is. There's water all over the cutting board just from doing that. So we'll do it with the other one, and we'll slice this up. Yeah, and I'm getting kind of sprayed in the face a little bit doing this. That's all right. It's kind of hot out, so a little refreshing. Again, you can see all this here, right? And toss that. There's probably a use for it. I don't know what it is. So that's that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to slice up the cucumber. Put them side by side. And it says thin slice, but you don't want them too thin. I mean, you want to have significant chunks to them. You want to be able to taste it. And this is just going to get tossed right on the couscous, and then we're going to, toss it all around so it'll get ingrained in there. It'll get part of it. And, fresh cucumber, fresh couscous, fresh mint. This is going to be awesome. It's hard to not like this. All right. All right. And I mean, this is what you're looking for, about that thick, round little half crescents there. Too thin, it'll fold. Too thick, it's going to be, too thick. So just eyeball it. Eyeball it and try it. And then if you make it and you like it, but you say, oh, I want it thicker, thinner, however you want to do it. Right? This is just how it's supposed to be done, and then we'll adjust accordingly, whether it's good or not. All right, there we go. All right, so put this off to the side. And then the next thing we're going to do is I have, oh, let me show you this. Here's the couscous, right? I don't know where to get fresh couscous or, you know, this and that. So I just buy the boxed kind. Super easy to make. You boil some water in the spice packet in there for like 5 minutes. Throw this in there, cover it, done. And then you hit it with a fork. It's super easy. If you've never had it, it's like little, really small balls of pasta. It's terrific. And then this is the pine nuts. They got different flavors. It's awesome. All right, then I have chicken thighs here that I cut into strips, you can see. Some strips, some chunks, whatever you can get out of it. Chicken thighs are, everyone wants chicken breast. I highly recommend if you can find chicken thighs. They're cheap. You can see there's some fat, and fat a lot of times equals flavor. So if you can find chicken thighs and put it in one of your dishes, that fat gets in there, and the flavors even have, you know, a little more than the chicken breast. And it's cheap, so if you find it, get in there, try it out. All right, it's really good, especially for when you want to do something like this, where you're chunking it up, or if you're, you know, doing it in strips, whatever. Trying out my new knife, courtesy of Reese, Mommy, and Cecilia. This is a Dao Vua. It's a Vietnamese company. It's called a bunca knife. It's the equivalent to a chef's knife. It's kind of an all-rounder. This thing's awesome. It flew through that. Again, don't waste your money. Spend the money on a sharp, good kitchen knife. You will never go wrong. You will never regret it. All right, so we got our chicken in a bowl here, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the yogurt and we're just gonna plop that on there. And then we're gonna take our harissa paste and we're gonna put that right on top. All right, a little bit there. Get as much as you can. Now, what is harissa? I'm still finding out myself, but it's reminds me of like a spicier barbecue rub that you might find in stores. You know, if you like something with a little heat. It's not the heat that's going to kill you like a hot sauce or this and that, but it's definitely got a spice to it, which is going to be real nice, juxtaposed against the fresh coriander and the mint. That's going to be like a nice, clean, bright flavor with this. We're going to do a dash of salt. A little more. And we're going to do a little bit of the coarse ground black pepper. You can do regular pepper. This just happened to be within reach. And I'm going to get my hands real chickeny, so we're going to use that. And then we're just going to flip all this around and just stir it all up. It should get a nice orange paste to it, right? You want to make sure you cover everything. We're going to cook this in a pan and some oil, right on the stove. Nothing crazy. You don't need a smoker. Don't need the grill, right? We're just going to make sure we cover all of it. Now the recipe calls for 4 chicken thighs, which I got chicken thighs over at Costco. That's where I buy most of my meat, actually. And it came with 4 in a pack, so we lucked out there. You got to cut out the bone, so make sure you realize that chicken thighs a lot of times have a bone in it, right? And then it also has the skin on it. Now for this, I removed the skin. Chicken skin is fine to put on. If you want to try it with that, that's fine. For this, I really want just like the meat and whatever little fat's on there to cover it, so I got rid of the skin. But if you're grilling it up or putting it on the smoker with the skin, it's going to be really good. All right, there we go. So they're all nice and coated. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the couscous on the stove, and then we're going to cook up the chicken. And I'll show you that when we're done. All right, thank you. So here we go. We're going to start up the chicken, right? I preheated the pan. Now the recipe calls for 20 minutes. That's a long amount of time, so I'm just going to put it on low heat for the chicken here. And I'm going to pour a little vegetable oil, good amount, right? Because I want this to be, it's just going to kind of simmer in it for a while. So I don't want to have it stick. You know, make sure I get it all around the pan. Here we go. I'm using vegetable oil because I don't know how hot it's going to get. All right, so let's start it up. Let's get the Harissa Explains It All chicken in there. So we're gonna put it right on our vegetable oil and we'll be good. All right. And I'm just gonna spread it out so it's not just one big clump, because it's kind of sticky with all the yogurt and the harissa sauce we made, right? So let's just make sure it's all spread out. And we'll let that go on low heat for a while. All right. Next thing is we got is our couscous. We got a cup and a quarter of water, plus 2 teaspoons of butter. You could use olive oil if you want, but I'm using butter. And the spice packet that came in the box. Rock and roll, real simple. All right. So we're gonna turn it up a tad, get it going. I'm gonna start the couscous. Now you notice I'm using a grill lighter to start it. We have kind of an odd stove. It's a nice stove, it's really big. It's got 8 burners, that's terrific. But because it's a weird, I think it's like a restaurant stove, there's no child locks on it. I can't put things over, so Reese and Cecilia running around just in case they hit it. I don't want gas going everywhere, so we turn the gas off when we're done. But that's what that is. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cook. I'm just gonna flip it as it goes. Make sure everything on here is cooked. It doesn't have to wait 20 minutes. We're gonna watch it and we're gonna see what's ready when it's ready. You can always take it off the heat, put it in a bowl, cover it, keep it warm for a bit. But we're gonna start up the couscous. All we're gonna do with this is bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, we're gonna pour in the rest of this packet. Right, which you can see here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a bunch of little small pasta there. We're just gonna pour that in there. Let it sit for 5 minutes. And then you have couscous. It's so easy and it's absolutely delicious. If you haven't tried it, go try it. It's awesome. You can get it in Aldi, you can get it at ShopRite, Wegmans, whatever you got near you. It's couscous, real simple. I'm sure there's like better homemade and all that. I don't know how to find it, or I don't know where to find it, but I'll give it a shot. All right. All right, so you can see here the couscous is boiling, so we're gonna turn it off. All right. Let's see, we got that water, we got it boiled. We're just gonna take this whole packet and pour it right in there. All right, make sure we get it all. And then we'll stir it around. Make sure it's all even. And then we're gonna cover it and put it to the side. And in 5 minutes, you got couscous ready to go. Simple as that. This stuff is awesome. Okay, so the chicken's cooked. The couscous has been steamed. So the next step of the couscous, right, is you take it off and use a fork and you want to fluff it. So you're just going to stir it up, Bob Marley style, stir it up, right, so it's nice and fluffy. And there you go, you get this nice, different kind of pasta dish, carbs, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with it next. Alright, so now we want to assemble the couscous. So we're going to take our dish that we fluffed with a fork. Right, we're just going to pour it in this big old bowl. Get it all in there. You can still, some of it's still a little sticky. Right, but we're going to kind of toss it all around, so that should be fine. Shouldn't be a big deal. So we got our fork. Stir it around. All right, so we're gonna put just a dash of salt. All right, just a dash of pepper. All right, we're gonna put all of our fresh mint in there. All right, looks like a lot, might be a lot, who knows? Never made this before, we're gonna figure it out. We'll put our cilantro in there. Boom, boom. We're gonna put our cucumbers in there. Now I called for half a cucumber, but I like cucumbers, so I put a whole one in. So, just get it all in there. And more vegetables can't really be bad for you, I suppose. All right, and then we're just gonna kind of stir it up. Make sure it's nice and mixed. I know you can't smell this, but it smells awesome. Would you be so kind as to grab me a plate?
Plate?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So we got it nice and stirred up there. Okay. All right, so that's the base, right? Just like that. Okay, so then we take our plate here and we're gonna make sure put some on there. How's that for you? Is that good? All right. Just gonna kind of punch it down a little bit. Then we're gonna take our cooked harissa chicken and put it right on the top there. A little more on that bad boy. Okay. Okay, and then you go back to your yogurt. Again, this is the Icelandic. Doesn't matter which kind. And you just dribble a little bit on here and there. And just a dash. Okay. And then you're supposed to put a little more of the paste. Again, I don't have a paste, so I'm just going to take a pinch. There you go. All right. And that is Harissa Explains It All chicken. And we're going to try it at the table. Okay, Harissa Explains It All chicken for Mommy. Here we go. Let's see if she likes it. Let's give it a shot. Taste test.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah? Yeah, all right.
No complaints.
There we go. All right, let's try this.
Very quiet.
You're going to be very quiet? Good idea. Okay, enjoy. Happy Father's Day.